Does that work? Yes. Got it. All right. All right, guys. It's summer in Eorza. Let's we got us a new jump tower this year. I'm a little disappointed and kind of happy all at the same time. I don't know how to feel about it. Let me just kind of hop off this, and I'll jump on my mount so I can show you from above. Whee! Grab my llama. So as you can see, they didn't build the jump tower on the islands there. They just brought up a boat. Seems like it has a little bit less than the island jump towers, and uh, I do kind of miss the like one the scale of it, but two the other stuff that you could do from like a vacation standpoint. They had the big bombs that you could press the button on. You get this big thing you could do a fancy G pose with, but you don't get that this time around. You just have this big old boat. Now, I would say it's a nice change uh, from the others. I've done the jump tower for the last 4 years straight, and I've always appreciated it. I've made it to the top maybe twice in those 4 years, so like the challenge was there, especially when you're in between duty roulettes or dungeons, especially if you're trying to play as a DPS. That you want to buy some time with that. So that's why I always appreciated the jump towers here in Costa del Sol. But this time we have us a fancy little boat, kind of like a cruise-esque feel. I've never been on a cruise. I was in the Army for a reason. So, if there's a destination I could fly to, I'll do that. But let's just kind of run around for a second. We're going to start on this side. Got us a nice little orchestra in here. You can't really click on it. I don't know how to explain that. Kind of like a Christmas tree in a way. Not really. Just a tree of lights. We'll call it that, a tree of lights. Over here, climb up these little stairs. You can climb up this net. It goes up to this higher rise. You can jump off this edge here to get into the water. There's really no, I don't know, point scale. It just kind of gives you like a little target to aim for. You don't gain anything out of that, but just a little bit of self-fun and self-enrichment, fulfillment, whatever you want to call it that. So like I can aim for this sucker and land in there. And that's basically the extent of that little mini game. Over here is kind of cool. We get these little cannon rides. Basically hop in one. And that's also, again, pretty much it. Once you land, you see that bustling water over there. We'll just swim over to it. You can also float or do the backflips from here. And you got your vendors. The only vendor you can really buy from is right here, the Moonfire vendor. Moonfire Fair vendor. And you get all these firecrackers. So nothing like over the top awesome, but just a nice way to change the pace when you're in between dungeons. Now let's examine the jump tower, right? The jumping function here is this, I don't know, what do we call it? Podium? Not a podium. Pillar? Maybe a pillar. Just kind of make a few hops here. Lots of short hops. What I'll do is I'll position myself where my foot's kind of hanging off and make another short hop. And it's the same here. Make my feet hang off the edge. Short hop, short hop. And then what I'm aiming for with this one is about right here on the far side. And it's still going to be a bit of a short hop, but that's that's the target. Now this one's going to be a long hop. Long jump right there. This one gets me a little bit because you see the chat bubble there. You want to launch really close to this edge, and this is your target space right there. So this is kind of like your first real challenge. Take off that. All right, and so what I'll do is I'll kind of move my camera around my point of view. And I want to angle it down slightly to where I can see that launch point. Run, jump, and still miss. All right, let's get back to that. Let's make a bunch of short hops here again. That one was a medium jump. That was a medium jump. That was a short. That was a short. Big jump here. All right, so I'm going to set this up again. I'm looking for that edge. Still aiming towards the target landings. I barely made it there. That was awesome. All right, so we got us another medium jump here. Medium jump, and over jump. Back to this one. Big jump here. Missed I jumped too early. I guess while I'm doing this, I can go and wait for my next duty. I was hoping to make that like some cool reveal, but maybe if you check in a little later, you get that awesomeness. All right, so we'll switch back to this because it's vacation time. All right. Big splash. I would say it's not super complicated this year, but I haven't really made it to the final phase. Right, this is what we would consider the first phase. Make a bunch of short jumps. Short jumps. This has got to be a medium jump. And this is a long jump. Okay. So far, I haven't had any reason to use Peloton or Sprint. So keep that in mind. All right, that was a good jump there. We're looking for another medium jump here. Another medium jump here. I like to target for the pillar itself. That way I don't overshoot it. All right, so this one's a little more trickier because you actually have to use a long jump for this one to get the height. So I'm going to set my character up. And same thing, right? I'm trying to target for the distal side, the far side of the landing zone. So press this button to make sure I tell my brain that's my jump button. Make the jump, and there I go. Now notice when I landed, my feet are not making contact. So it's pretty, like the margin of error is pretty small. Woo! And look at that one. I thought I actually overjumped that. Little jump here, medium jump, and awesome. I fell to that spot. Take off everybody's little labels there. And there we go. Gotta aim for that edge. If I don't aim for the edge, that hitbox will hit this podium right here, and it'll stop you from moving. There we go. We got this one here. It's usually pretty simple to hit. Still another nice long jump because of the height. And we're just going to inch our way back down. Let me check my timer. 13 minutes. Number 1 in the shoot. Must mean there's a lot of DPS. Maybe not a lot of DPS, but not a lot of healers or tanks at the moment. 'Cause I'm running Dragoon. I'm trying to relearn that rotation and whatnot. Whee! Splash. Oh, there we go. Let's go on in. Big reveal time. Who are we missing? The other deeps. Good, I'll get a dance partner.
To the memories of better days, I bid farewell.
Have you heard? Princess Fiend is here.
So again, bear in mind, it's been a while since I've been super familiar with the Dragoon rotations, so may die a lot. I'm gonna floor tank it a little bit. Double jump there because I fat fingered one. I'm really glad they are close enough for that effect. The other thing that I have to retrain myself not to do as a Dragoon is look down at my hotbars. We'll hold off my attack for a moment. There we go.
Your smile means all is right.
If I smile, it is because you all smile for me.
That's sweet. Okay, there we go. Just kind of dumping a small arsenal of attacks here. What's that called? Wormwind thrust? Wormwind thrust? Wait on my CDs to open up again. We may be done with this part of the pool anyhow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete my AoE rotation and I'm going to start my single target rotation. That's the one thing about Dragoon is that its flow allows you to shift between single target and AoE targets pretty seamlessly, unless you foobar it, which I probably will at one point or another. I'm going to use these jumps here, and I'm not going to touch the other jumps because I don't want them on cooldown going into the boss. Whee! Now we'll go into these jumps. And now I'm going to ignore my weaving for a moment. This is part of the, this is Alexandria, so it's the last main dungeon before the end game of Dawntrail. So it had some new mechanics at the time, but if you're not paying attention to those, to the floor there, you're going to eat it pretty hard. So got a circle. I'm gonna move in to avoid the cross. Move into the circle. I should have moved kind of out of the way there because I got hit by that fan and I got killed by that because I was not paying attention. Oh man. See, like the tempo can really scale up on this boss fight. And with me getting into the motion of looking at all my hot bars and waiting on my rotation and weaving to happen, I'll miss the little things on the floor. So I've thought about moving my Dragoon hotbar for that particular reason. Because I'll lose myself in that motion. I was too close to that cross. And I'll have to look down at my hotbar. And it just takes my attention away. Let's see here. I'm going to finish this part of the rotation up and I'm going to start the weaving again. In reality, you probably don't need to weave as much as I weave, but I do. I'm going to ignore the weaving for a moment. There we go.
You are my people, and I will
Sure, I can check you out on Discord. Just let me finish the dungeon first. I have a Discord. I'm not very active on it.
painful memories of war. I lay to rest.
But thanks for jumping in, man. I appreciate the comment. It's nice to hear that. We'll start my AOE rotation here again. And we'll start the weaving with the AOE rotation. Here we go. Here we go. You having a good day so far? Is that Benamissimo? Ooh, gotta get in that safe zone. And I gotta restart the AOE. I wasn't paying attention to my rotation. There we go. So I got my Wormwind thrust ready. I need to ignore these. No, not great. This guy kind of got away with that. They tuned down the secondary effects of the AOEs from a Dragoon, so it went from 50% to 40% damage for all secondary targets. pick these guys up really quick. Everything's on CD, so I just got to focus on my 1, 2, 3. And an occasional 4. Here's my 1, 2, 3. And I'll restart it. And Wormwind Thrust. I'm going to save my weaving for the moment, because the boss fight's coming up. And I needed one more part of that rotation to phase into my single targets. Drink some more of my energy. Here we go. I'm going to turn myself around and flip. Whee! Oh, I guess I didn't need that. The timer ran out. Let me move my camera some. Give everybody an attack buff. Start my weaving. Ignore the weaving for a second, but I'll get myself a lance charge. Where are these nodes dropping? See that straight line? They're going to make a triangle somewhere. We want to be on the outside of the triangle. Now the next part of this is, I believe he's going to do a straight line. Yep, straight line down the center. Close enough to continue making attacks with that. It's not a big deal. We want to get into the center because he's going to do flank AoE straight lines. You just got to keep looking down and up. Now this time he's going to combo. You see those? We got to make sure we're in the gap, but also outside the triangle. Now I'm going to move out of the way. Take the hit there. I'm going to use my Bloodbath and Lance Charge. I use Life Surge. I tend to use the phrase Life Surge interchangeably with Lance Charge. It's not the right thing, but I do. So bear that in mind if I instruct that part. I recognize that it's the incorrect phrasing. Alright, so where's the gap? It's right there. Need to come to this side of it. Wait for that to blast. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Continue rotation. I'm going to just basically nuke my weaves for a second. Put everything on CD so I can focus here. Gotta get to the outside. It'll pop, and then we go to the inside. And we have the flank AoEs. Almost done with this boss. This is the second boss, and we'll start the third corridor. There it goes. We'll come out here to the edge. Wait on the next, I don't know, what do they call that? Digital distortion.
And at the last, my final endless.
We want to slow it down just a little bit. Let the paladin get out front because they're going to start popping up here in a second. And let's start the weaving process again. Here we go. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, buddy. Gotta make sure I have a target loaded on this one. I can't just randomly shoot some AoEs. There we go. We'll finish this little crowd up here. He'll start the last pool. I mean Pull, pool. After this, we'll be swimming in a Pool pool. What's the sprint timer? 4, 3. All right. I'm just going to keep my rotation going here until we get everybody in the same zone so I can maximize my output. All right, weave-in time. Bam! Missed it. Fat fingered the wrong button. Restart the weave. Now I'm going to transition to my single target. See how Raiden Thrust is now activated. There we go. And let's go into this the big bad boss. Let me pass on all this stuff here. I have a taunt that I can use. We'll do this one. And booyah. Make sure I stay to the opposite side of his little sword arm. Partition. There we go. Now he's going to switch sides with that Joker. We're just going to be on the opposite side there. Again, I am staring at my hotbar for no reason. I can't help that. Don't know why. Classical conditioning, maybe. Oh, switching arms again. Let's see here. Jump is now ready. We'll just dump the attack with it. Coming on, coming on. Let's go, let's go. Gotta keep the rotation hot. Don't want to restart it. Final attack sequence. Alright, I have nothing to weave into this except that. Oh, I soaked that Joker up. Like it was nothing. Here we go. The thing about Dragoon and Reaper as well, there's not a lot of mitigators here. In fact, there's not any. Battle Litany is the only buff that I could give the team, which I will activate now. And my rotation flopped, so I got to start that over again. Come over here. I'm gonna jump on him while I can. Hopefully they got a spready there. I need to get away from the incisor. And I don't mean the tooth. We heard you. Annihilation. We got it. I'm going to come stand on top of these, across these two over here. Wait for that first one to bang. Here we go. And just avoid the rest of them by one simple relocated movement. What's he doing? Subroutine. So he's going to create this donut and that straight line at the same time. Well, that was a triple. I missed the slash there, but fortunately I was on the correct side. That helped a lot. Goofed up my rotation again. It's very easy to do playing Dragoon. Way too many buttons to press. Was definitely not paying attention to the floor again, but very lucky. Got very lucky that time. Give my dance partner the calm. Let me give everybody a cheer there. Cheers. We had a good game, guys. That was pretty decent. I only died one time. Okay, and we're back here. Let me go into high dungeons. I'm gonna switch back into my vacation uniform and continue some jumping. That was a quick wait. That's what stand fast means. So I'm level 80 again. I don't have a whole lot of weaving actions with this one. There's still a bunch of stuff I can do, though. I believe the rotations are still complete. Nope. I have to restart the rotation each time, so I don't get a continuation. That means when I finish my AoE, I'll have to start the single fresh. The single rotation's fresh. Oh, tank doesn't have his stance on, and the tank went down. Well, I'm a floor tank, so still a tank. And the tank is back. Yay. That almost got hairy. I'm glad the tank came back, though. I don't have Wormwind Thrust either. I guess that's a level 90. Yep, that should have been the level 90 move. So going from a level 100 dungeon to a level 80 dungeon, just it kind of makes it seem so simple now. The only thing you got to remember about being a Dragoon is the positioning. We'll finish that up, then we'll start a single party target or single target attacks. Do I have my gap closer? I do. Man, I love Shadowbringer's music. Donate that one. Come back to the attacking. Right, these things you want to kind of avoid. They get little pops every now and again. They're not that terrible. I thought they were bigger. Come back to this side. And now I need to give this one up. Come back to the fight. Even though the rotations seem to be much simpler, I'm still staring at my hotbar. See, Raiden Thrust is there, so I can continue the single attacks. The single attack rotations as a continuation. Oop, didn't get to that one, did I? Pass on that. And we move on to the next corridor.
What took you so long? The Amalta are in trouble. Let's split up.
Going to drink my juice. pick a target and let's blow it up. I probably could have done all that under Battle Litany. I got an extra 10%. What is it, 10 or 20? Don't remember. There's a potency boost when you have Battle Litany active.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, it's Dinian. I could do that too. Just do a nuclear drop right there and then go back into the rotation. Continue with my single attacks, my single target attack rotation. Whoop. I was looking at my countdowns. And prematurely got the pull out of this. It's okay though. It's a pretty simple one. Boom! Double jump. There we go. Let's come to this side. There we go. I'm gonna nuclear dump on this guy too. But I don't have anything else to drop. Need to stay here in the middle to avoid the straight line AoEs there. Let's see here. There should be some missiles being fired off of the sides. Right there. Just want to stay in the gaps between those theories. The other side's going to float theirs across here as well, so we're just going to make a simple movement to avoid. Paying attention to the little turbines. And then we're going to hop back up over here. Finish up this second boss, start the third corridor. It's going to go by pretty fast. I'm not going to do a jump attacks. And just like that. Moving on. He's in his sprint, so I'm going to start my sprint. I believe this is the only part of the pool for this part of the corridor. Parts. From parts unknown. I'm going to save my battle litany for the next pool. But I will use my jumps. With a 30-second CD, I don't see why not. A dragoon flying a dragon. Got to avoid these things from coming into my inventory. And they're in sprint, so I'm just going to sprint with them. Alright, when all these sugar circles go away, I'm going to start my jumping. And battle litany. We'll do that one too. Come on, cooldowns. I got my high jump ready, but that's a single target. I don't want to switch to single targets just yet. And big jump there. And I messed up my rotation. And I messed up my rotation yet again. There we go. Moving on to, was it Lunar Bahamut? Lunar. Not Solaris Bahamut. Yep, Lunar Bahamut. Let's see here. Who are we waiting on? Do I need to clear this? I do. Alright. Now I'll do a single jump. Mm-hmm. 12 seconds before my next. I'm going to use my, what's that called? Life Surge again. Use Faint. Now Battle Litany is ready. Let's fire that one off. Need to back away, back away. Man, they all jumped in the middle of that one. Yeek. Positioning matters, guys. This is a puzzle, nonetheless. We're going to come dead center here. You just see like how they started to implode on each other, that the gap opened up in the middle. The next time he does this, if he gets around to the next rotation, it's not dead center. It's off to the side a little bit. Little mega flare there. Use those two. One increases damage, the other continues my healing. Dragoons do have self-healing. They wear paper armor, but they can work on healing themselves pretty well. Seven seconds before my next weave. So we want to avoid these spikes here. Getting a little bit better with it. I'm still not super comfortable without looking at my hot bars. All right, this is that second part, right? It's got a... Where's the opening at? It's right here on the edge. I probably should have used that. And a nice jump attack to finish him off. We'll toast around the toasts. Some toasting, and don't need that. Congratulations, guys. A little GG there. Excellent, excellent. And let's hop out. All right. In fact, let me do this. All right, I'm going to see if I can make it to the second phase. Still aiming for that far corner. Made it. Turn all that noise off. Dang it. Dang it. Oh well. Let me zoom in some here. Bring that down. DOZE. Oh, I gotta bring my frames back up. Doze. Alright. I gotta set a BRB, okay?